How to mix beautiful pastel colors like these with acrylic paint. The easiest way is to start with a lot of white. And then you mix in tiny amounts of your color. In this case, I'm using a tiny bit of dark brown to mix in. And this is already enough to turn our mix into a beautiful off-white color, which is slightly leaning towards brown. And then, in order to darken it a bit more, I add a little bit more of the brown. And it's really important to be careful with your color, because tiny amounts can have a big impact. So rather go slowly and add little bit by little bit until you get to the color you like. I think I'd like it to be a little bit darker, so let's see what happens if we add a little bit more of our brown. Yeah. Look at this beautiful mocha color we're getting here. I absolutely adore this one. So let's move on to our next color. Again, we start with our white and then mix in a little bit of yellow ochre. Let's mix it in very well. And this turns our paint into a beautiful pastel vanilla color. Isn't that amazing? And in order to turn this mix into a beautiful off-white, you only need a tiny amount of your mix. And then if you add additional white, you get this beautiful vanilla off-white color. So beautiful. Now let's move on with our next color. Again, we start with a lot of white, and this time we mix in a tiny amount of green in order to create a beautiful pastel green. And since I've been using a pretty cool green here, it's a phthalo green, our pastel green is turning into this light mint green color. Now again, let's remove a bit of the paint so that only a tiny amount stays on the palette. And then we create from this another beautiful off-white. This time it's slightly leaning towards mint green. And these off-white colors will help you to create softer, more harmonious paintings in comparison to using clear white paint on your paintings. Now let's see what we get if we mix a bit of orange into our white. And again, we only use a tiny amount of our color, because that's already enough. This looks promising. I absolutely love these warm pastel colors, which in this case leans towards an apricot or peachy color. And then again, let's turn it into a warm off-white color. And then our last color mix is going to be a beautiful baby blue. In this case, I'm using a Prussian blue to mix into our white, but you can turn any blue and actually any color you want into beautiful pastel colors by mixing tiny amounts of them into your white. And look at this beautiful pastel blue we are getting here. I can absolutely imagine amazing paintings created from this color palette. And that's how easy it is to create beautiful pastel colors with acrylic paint. And don't forget to check out the video description for more information about color mixing and acrylic painting techniques. Have a lovely day with hopefully lots of color mixing. Bye bye!